Good morning, everybody. It's time for the experience live with Russ and Scott. Here we go. Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillot Home team of Keller Williams and Laura Gillot. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillot.com. And H&R Block of Albany, Corvallis, Lebanon, and Kaiser. For more information on your tax preparation needs, call 541-928-6432. Good morning. How's it going,
Wow.
Mr. D. Scott Smith?
Hey, it's good to see you broadcasting remote from the Gillot Home Team World Headquarters there.
That's right.
This morning.
The
And
Laura Gillot World Headquarters here in Lebanon, Oregon, one of our wonderful friends and sponsors. So great to be here.
yep, and it's dark out. It's dark.
Yeah,
Fall
it
has
is.
fall has dropped upon us.
I know it. I know it. It was a very dark drive this morning, but you know what? Life is good. It may be dark outside, but we're light inside, right?
We're light inside. And I tell you, when the sun comes up, those trees are just gorgeous out there. This is my wife's absolute favorite time of the year. She was decorating. She got all the stuff out. She's decorating for fall right now.
That's so great. Well, I love this time of the year, except I don't like the shorter days really, but outside of that, it's all good. So
That's right.
yeah. So what's going on in Scott's world right now? What's going on this week?
Well, I'm really excited because I just started my first group going through the influence creation of credibility in this process. In 12 weeks or less, take the knowledge that you have, create a book, a publication, put it on Amazon, create a little video series to support that people can go to, linked right inside that publication, and then do a webinar live with me on Amazon. And we got the first group going through there. They're so excited. I'm really excited to be able to share what they publish. So we'll be going through that for the next 12 weeks, and we'll have new authors.
That is amazing. That is so cool. You're always doing amazing things. I was talking about you yesterday, Scott. I don't know if your ears were burning, but I was telling one of my clients what a profound influence you had been on my life. And in fact,
Wow.
We were sitting in the New Morning Bakery, downtown Corvallis, where you and I sat. I believe it was October of 2019.
It was
said,
indeed,
Russ, have you thought about writing a book or doing podcasting and live streaming? And voila, here we go.
And look at you today, and Russ, you now have an international audience. And speaking of authors, you've also got some stuff coming up as well.
Very exciting. Yeah, this Saturday, I actually have a book signing and promotion, Beaverton, Oregon, hoping that some friends will stop by and some people that have not met me before to learn more about how I can encourage and inspire them. After all, I am an inspiration specialist. So there you go. Befuddled, live the life you choose. That's
there
right.
You go.
Well, listen, I am so excited for our guests this morning. I want to do
Great.
a little something before we bring them in today, Scott. And I'm going to pop you and I out for just a minute because I want to show a couple pictures from back in the day. Both of our guests this morning, my big brother, who I love with all my heart, Mr. Derryl Willis, is with us today. He is not only a banker, he runs a Tai Chi school. He's amazing, the things that he does. One of the world's greatest connectors ever that God created is with us. He was my big brother in my fraternity, and my super good friend, Mr. Jim Langlois, who's worked with Steven Spielberg, Disney, NBC, all on gigantic projects you would know, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, things like that. Some
Disney
pretty
right
cool
there.
stuff. There you go, Disney. And he was the president of our fraternity house back in college. So I've got a couple of pictures that I'm going to share what we looked like
Yeah, let's see
back
these.
then. So
Let's
hang
go
tight
into
for
the
just a sec.
Wayback Machine and see these pictures.
There you go. We're going to drop out for just a minute here. Here we go.
Wow.
That
Jumping
last
right
shot,
into the 80s there,
I
eh,
know.
Russ?
I love that last shot. I can't see it really well, but it was so much fun back in the day. And yes, that guy with all the hair in the middle of the one picture next to my good buddy Derryl is me with hair. There you go. So without further ado, I'm just going to start by bringing them both in at the same time
Let's
today
do
because I
this.
just want to
Let's
have a
do
good
this.
time. And here they come, Mr. Derryl Willis, Mr. Jim Langlois. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hey, I have had so much fun really reconnecting with both of you in recent years. I mean, a pretty long time span went before we had actually had meaningful talks. Derryl, you and I got back together a few years ago. You met my family, and we have really reconnected and are talking on a regular basis. Jim, it's been what a blessing to have you come on one of my other shows, get time to talk with you and find about all the amazing things that you're doing. And I just love looking at those old pictures from back in the day. Jim, you were controlling things, man. You were the president.
Yeah, and I've literally boxes and boxes of those pictures. I need to put them up. I don't know if you guys all know, but we have a beta new Facebook page. And I'm going to start loading these pictures. You kind of inspired me today that I need to scan those and load those up for everybody.
That's great.
Yeah, I love the old pictures because, memories are wonderful. I mean, we all want to move forward in life and progress and do things, but it's great to look back with people that you love. Mr. Derryl Willis, the first time my family met you, they knew why you were my super awesome, great friend because of what a wonderful man you are. How are you doing this morning?
Absolutely fantastic right now. It's just so great to be with all of you and to not only look back and with fondness and love, but to also look forward with hope and love. And these bonds just don't fray. That's what's so cool. They just don't fray.
Well, I've been blessed knowing both of you for a long time now. And I want to start, though, by having you both tell everybody a little bit about what you're up to. Jim, we're going to start with you. Your story is very interesting. You popped right out of college after working for our national office for our fraternity to start working for places like Disney and NBC and then Steven Spielberg. People will find that very interesting. Give us a little snapshot of what you did and where you are now.
Well, actually, it's a funny story how I got into NBC. So when I originally had to do an internship for college, which was my second to last quarter, it was during spring break. I basically went down to LA and I went up to NBC's office in Burbank and I walked into personnel and I said, "Hey, I want to do an internship." And they said, "Well, there's a 2-year wait." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's not going to work." So I wasn't quite honest. I basically called back a week later and said, "Hey, I applied for an internship, but I've never heard anything back." And I got this lovely lady who ended up ultimately being River Phoenix's mother, the actor River Phoenix. And basically I said, well, I was panicked. I kind of gave a little bit of a tear and said, what am I going to do? I've got all this planned. And she goes, oh, don't worry, we'll get you some. So I went down for my internship, and on my first lunch with meeting with her, she goes, you didn't really have an internship here, did you? And I said, no, I didn't. I'm not going to lie to you. She goes, well, I admire your tenacity, and we have one for you. So that's actually how I got my internship down there. And I did that. And then I went and worked for the fraternity, and then came back and started working for NBC for about a week. And then I heard about this job opening at Amblin Entertainment, which is Spielberg. And I went and applied, got that job, and kind of never looked back.
Well, you know what
Jim,
is amazing?
Jim, I
gotta
love that.
say,
I love the story. Your story reminds me of the guy that walks into the bookstore and tells the cashier, I want a book on Moxie, and I want you to pay for it.
yeah. Hey, sorry about interrupting you there, Scott. I got too excited here. One of our other presidents and former Pike brothers, Mr. Dirk Davis, is with us this morning in the comments. Wow. So I just want to say hey to Dirk this morning. Hey, and yeah. So Scott, sorry, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, this is the beautiful thing about friendships. When you have really good friends, even though work and family may separate you over the years, when you get back together with a really good friend, you can take up mid-sentence just as if you had never been parted.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think, Derryl, you are the king of that. Okay. I think if you have never met Mr. Derryl Willis, he is he should be like used in sales training, how to focus on people, how to make them feel like they're the greatest person in the entire world at that moment. Don't you agree with that, Jim?
Absolutely. I think I actually learned from some stuff from Derryl. Derryl's the epitome of a great conversationalist. I mean, the way that he literally will look at you in your eye, have a conversation. You feel like you're the only person talking with him. And I've always admired that about him.
Yeah. So Derryl, give us a little insight for those that don't know you, what you're up to.
Well, thank you so much. And I have to say, what I learned from you, Jim, and Russ, leadership and heart and care, fierce loyalty. Those things, not only because we were fraternity brothers, but because of the men you are. And Scott, I can tell you're that same kind of man who really appreciates the community around him and creates community. And so that's, it's so great to be with people like this and like you. So I appreciate this time. But after college, I moved up to Seattle, Washington, to the big city, and decided I wanted to go into banking. No one decides to go into banking. So most people just fall into it. But I decided I was going to go into banking, and I had a great ride. I mean, went through a management training program and with one bank, and then after 14 years, I was recruited by another bank to start working for them. And I have had a blast to see people learn and grow, helping community. I've been blessed to participate in a couple of nonprofits boards that I'm on, and I love the work that we do. I know it's good work. I see the fruit of that labor and experience it. It's really joyous. And then, of course, running my Tai Chi school, when I was, all through my life, I had problems with my knees, and I was always trying to figure out how to be as athletic as I could be. And believe it or not, I met somebody who said, you should try martial arts, and the conditioning that it does can help your body kind of align differently. And that's what I did. And I've been doing it for over 30 years, and traveled to China to train, and then I decided to open my own school and helping people from all ages kind of find the joy of balanced living and body integration. And it's I'm living a good life, a blessed life.
Derryl, I love that you said no one chooses to go into banking after college. So I had an internship when I was in college at First Interstate Bank. And that led, next thing I knew, I spent 12 years in banking after college.
Wow, really? Oh, so kind of fell into it.
It's funny because Derryl is not your typical banker, for sure. I think Jim would definitely attest to that. He is the most happy, uplifting. A lot of times in banks are not too happy.
Yeah.
So he is amazing. I'm sure that they love you at the bank, Derryl, and all that you're doing. You know, I was thinking back to some of the fun times we had, most of which we cannot repeat on this show. But you know, Derryl tells a story back when he and we were so close in college. We were in choir together at Oregon State. We did so many great things, traveled together. But he took me to a party one time, and he's got a very interesting story about that because it was a lot of fun. I loved it. You know, I didn't see anything different. But yeah, Derryl, do you want to tell that story? I love that.
You know, it's one of the stories that resides with me, and when I have opportunity to share just about your heart, this is my favorite story. So there weren't very many people of color or African Americans at Oregon State back in the day, and we used to have these townhouse parties, and so where somebody would rent a townhouse and they would open it up and we would all get together and they would play the music and everybody would just have fellowship. Well, at one night I was going and Russ said, "Hey, I'd like to go with you," and I thought, okay, well, we'll try this out. And I thought, well, I'm sure everything will be all right, but we'll try out. And Russ, he's tall and a whole bit and fair-haired. And so we get to the townhouse party and the music is going and people are, greeting each other. And Russ walks in there and he starts dancing. And I thought, well, I got to keep an eye on him because I make sure he's all right. Well, every time I glanced over, all I'd see was this really tall white guy on the dance floor. And I knew he was okay. But not only that, but he was surrounded, just engulfed by all these people who really embraced him and loved him. And that's just the kind of man that Russ is, where people take to him to use so quickly and didn't bat an eye about where he was and what he was doing. And quick friend to everyone. And next thing you know, people really embraced and lifted him up. It was a blast. That was one of my favorite memories.
Nothing has changed with Russ.
Yeah, nothing has changed.
Well, I learned from the best, Derryl. You were a shining light for me. And, Jim, one of the reasons I was drawn to the Pike House, originally it came through Derryl, who was already a member, and also some guys that I played hoop with at Dixon down at Oregon State. But when I came in and I met people like you, Jim, that were so positive, easy to get to know, uplifting, and the kind of people I wanted to hang around, I knew that I was in the right place. Do you have a good old memory of Derryl that you want to share with everybody? I mean, that's shareable.
Honestly, I think my memory of Derryl is just his light that's him, through that house. Derryl, you didn't live in the house for very many years.
No.
But you just were always the light there, the laughter. You have a very boisterous laugh that I remember that I very much love. But you were just always such a awesome brother. Literally one of my most favorite people in the house.
Yeah,
I think there's something that we can learn and apply today with this experience that you guys had, struggling through school together, supporting each other, being there through all of the life challenges that we have in those late teens, early 20s, as we're kind of making that transition from having everything decided for us to starting to make our own decisions. But I think even today, that sense of community, even though we're much older than our college days, I think we can still capture and build that same type of community and support.
Yeah. I want to just chime on to that. First of all, I want to say that Scott is also an Oregon State grad. He actually graduated with me in '87. We didn't know each other back then, but we walked together in graduation. I was behind the two of you by a couple of years. But I have grown into the community that we have nowadays, like this community online today. I don't know, Derryl, Jim, if you know this. We have people from the Middle East. We have people from Canada. We have people from Dublin, Ireland, over in Europe. We have people from all around the world, and such a diverse and exciting community. And really, Jim, I learned that back at the house. at Pikes. What a great community of brotherhood that was back in the day. And yeah, I just appreciate you and all that you continue to do in your life.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have to echo that too, Jim. Your leadership. You were always so hands on the steering wheel, even keel, and there can be. I wonder if there are fewer life lessons greater than leading a house of young men from their late teens to mid-20s. And really helping to shepherd them to the kinds of decision making that would influence the rest of their lives. You really had that kind of influence on me and all of us. And so thank you for being that role model. And with a little brother like Russ, I had right. So I was posted with some guardian angels that needed to take care of that, needed to make sure that my life didn't go too far astray. But that's
I really appreciate that, Derryl. That means a ton. That's kind of one of the things I kind of pride myself in my career now as a producer director is wrangling cats, basically, and I'm kind of known as the producer that never loses his cool. I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected. If I do lose my cool, it's for a very good reason. It's very effective then. But I definitely, I have one client right now that he'll leave me messages at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, worried about something, and he says as soon as he leaves the message, he can hang up and fall immediately asleep because he knows it'll be handled. So that is all from my fraternity days. I guarantee you.
Well, you definitely were the calm and cool and collected kind of guy even back then, yeah. Jim. And that means a lot. Both you and Derryl, to me, as an underclassman, a couple years behind you guys, it gave me people to look up to. And there you go. There's the commencement. Wow, you got that still, Scott. That's amazing. Wow.
And Russ's name is in there, so he can prove that he was.
I don't know that I would have graduated without your help because I've told the story many times. Ultimately, it was meeting my beautiful wife and God above that helped me to get my life straight enough to graduate because I got a little off track at school. I majored in social life, and I was really good at that. Good at that. But sometimes I had to focus a little more on the school part. Scott, go ahead. You had something to say.
I just said, you were an honors student in social. So well done. Always trying to exceed. But those skills that we learn in college, it's not just checking off the boxes and getting enough credits so you can earn that bachelor's degree. It's really the friendships that the world comes to the university and you get to be a part of it there. And now here we are live, as you said, Russ, we've got people around the world who are tuning in to this show. And I will say it's just like Derryl was saying, people are gathering around Russ on the dance floor here on The Experience.
Well, I do have a big mouth and I do attract attention. I don't know if that's always good. But yeah. Hey, I see Dirk has given us a quick point. He goes, dealing with the moms was the toughest part of being president. Did you find that true, Jim?
Well, I think Dirk is more relaying this to a specific story of dealing with my mom when Dirk was president, where let's just say myself overindulged on his 21st birthday, and it was my mom was called, and Dirk had a little looking of my mom where she just said, "I'm so disappointed in you." And it crushed Dirk, and it's crushed him from this day. So I think that's what he's referring to. But my mom loves Dirk to death. So we were family friends even before the fraternity. So wow. I think that's his little underlying message there.
Yeah, because you grew up in the Portland area, right, Jim?
I did. I went to Reynolds High School.
Right. Awesome. And then Derryl was from good old Medford, Oregon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, indeed. Medford, Southern Oregon.
Yes, you told me you were the only family of color in Medford, Oregon.
And Jim, you'll get a kick out of this. I don't know. I think we were probably there. Well, I must have been at high school. So it had been a couple of years we were there. And the Medford Mail Tribune decided that they wanted to do an article on our family. And so here are all these weird pictures and, my sister and myself, at the high school. And, I think it was something like Black Willis's coping with white Medford. It was such a, but it's one of those things where, Medford was ready for us.
Mhm.
We were ready for Medford, and there was just an air of curiosity and they hadn't seen Black people other than on television, and so to be in a situation where we were all together trying to just be kids, recognize that boy, it was easy in many ways because all we have to do is be human, be
Yeah.
caring, be gracious, and then you've got all of the diversity and inclusion stuff done. But it was funny to have media and article out there for such an event. Um,
Yeah.
but I think it certainly all turned out well.
Good. That's
Well,
great.
it's interesting that the reason I think, Derryl, you and I got along so well is because I just always saw people as people. You relay that story. People that love life and wanted to have a good time. I was all about that. And you were the same way. And someone told me once, that Derryl's Black. I said, Derryl's Black? Really? I mean, no, really. In my mind, honestly, that's true. The fact that I just don't think about those things. And because I love you so much, Jim, you're such an amazing friend too. And I've been so grateful that we've been able to reconnect because it means so much to me. People that really had a profound effect on my life. The way that I am is because of people like you. All three of you have made a profound effect on my life. And I really, really appreciate each one of you.
No, thank you, Russ.
Thank you so much, Russ.
Well, listen, I got to start this because I know it's going to take a few minutes. I got to start the wrap up process. But I'm going to, Jim, first give you last word. If you have any things that you wanted to relay still that you would think that people would be interested in, or just a last word, and then how people get in contact with you, or where people go to see all your wonderful credits on movies and things like that. Let us know what's going on and how they get in touch with you.
Sure. You can reach out just by going to my website, quarter4media.com, or you can reach me on LinkedIn. It's quarter, QUARTER 4 media.com. We're doing a lot of, during COVID, and there's now about to be a very, very, very nasty IATSE Teamster strike in Hollywood, which is probably going to shut down Hollywood, which is not the really good time right now since everybody's struggling from COVID. But it's most likely going to happen. So I'm now kind of switched to doing a lot of commercials. I'm working on some empathy training videos for law enforcement right now for Axon, where we're putting them in virtual headsets and putting them in scenarios and putting them in an environment where they can say, hey, I don't have to draw my gun. Maybe I can de-escalate this. So I'm very proud of the work that we're doing there, which is up in Seattle, Derryl. So I'm going to come up and see you.
Please.
But it's good out there. I guess the last thing I can say is stay safe out there, everybody. And be kind, please be kind.
What the world needs now is definitely a little more kindness. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And speaking of kind, Mr. Derryl Willis, last word and how people get in touch with you, because everybody's going to want to know you now.
Well, I first have to say, Russ, thank you. This has just been a joy. It's so bringing people together, and to see you, Jim, it's just it's blessing my heart. And Scott, to have some time to get to know you a little bit better. What a lovely thing to do about building community, and that's what you do, Russ. But I guess my final words would be, this is the fundraising month over the next couple of months for some of the nonprofits. But I would encourage people, as you have been blessed, as you find yourself blessed, to not forget to open your arms and bless others. Give when you can, what you can, how you can, in heart, in hand, in mind, in deed, and in, as Jim said, in kindness. If that's what you can do that, because people are hurting and or are sometimes just need just that smile or that act of kindness or whatever generosity from your heart you can share. I think it goes a long way. So give to your nonprofits in any of those fashions, and give wholeheartedly. And then give to your bank, your local banker. We love money. So I think that talking about my Tai Chi business, take care of yourself. This is a time to really do self-care, as well as reaching out and making sure others are cared for. And then finally, anybody interested in catching me, I'm at Derryl Willis at HomeStreetBank.com. Drop me a line, and it would be great to continue to expand community and love.
Well, I have to say that I concur with Dirk that this has been the best 30 minutes of my week. It just makes me want to cry. I can't tell you guys how meaningful you are in my life, all of you. And when you're able to get together like this and talk, bringing old friends together is so beautiful. And then having new friends too, like I talked about the community online. I just want to, she's going to kill me later, but I just want to tell you, Everly, Ever is my wonderful new friend who's part of my team and who is working in the background of this as we're talking. She doesn't need the limelight. She is doing an outstanding job. And I'm not supposed to shine the light on her, but I got to say, what a great new friend. She has a wonderful family and just blessed by God in her life. So thank you, Ever. I just want to thank you for that. And for everybody that joined us today. I'm just so thankful for each one of you taking the time. Time is valuable, right, guys? I mean, they can be anywhere right now. A lot of them would like to be in bed right now, but wherever they are, they chose to come and hang out with us. And so I'm so thankful for that. Derryl, Jim, I'm going to send you guys out to the green room. Hang tight. We're going to wrap the show up. See you in just a moment. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the way Derryl summed that up in Audrey Hall's comment about live in gratitude, because we are all in this together.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And, we are better together, right? We talk about that all the time.
Absolutely.
We are better together. The way we do life together makes all the difference, because we are not on an island living by ourselves. We're living with other people. I'm going to see if Laura is in her office and wants to come out and wave at me this morning.
That would be wonderful. We sure appreciate the support that Laura has given the experience from the very beginning, from the very first episode, way back in January this year, when I had to broadcast from my car because we woke up at my house with no power.
I know. I remember that. And you did a great job even without that.
That was a fun episode.
It was a ton of fun. And Laura, if you're in there and can hear me, come on out for just a second. I don't know if she's even in her office because I can't see in there right now. But
hey, while we're pausing there for a moment, tell us about the author on these author interviews you're doing on Russ Reels.
Yeah, I did a couple of these, not because I really sought out to do author interviews, but because I had a lot of author friends that said, hey, let's chat. And so I've got a great one with some wonderful ladies coming up Friday this week. So look online for the information on that. I'm sure it'll magically appear in the comments here of the show.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Thank you, Ever.
I just want to thank everybody who's willing to come on these shows. I mean, we have amazing people. And so that's going to be so much fun to talk to them this Friday. That's at noon, I believe, Friday. I'm going from memory. And also, anybody who's in the Beaverton, Portland, Vancouver area that wants to swing by the Beaverton Rainbow West, I'm going to be there from 11 to 2 on Saturday. Love to see you guys. Love to see old friends. I've had some great old friends from high school and years past that have dropped by to say hi. So I really, really appreciate all of them as well. And it looks like Laura is not there, so we're not going to be able to chat with her this morning. But yeah, I just want to say how excited I am to be here with you,
That's
Scott.
gonna be great.
And Scott, what do you have going this weekend?
Yeah, so I've got this week, actually today and Friday, I'm also doing author interviews over on Amazon Live. And so today at noon Pacific is Catherine Hoxley. She is a musician in Nashville, and she wrote a children's book based off one of her songs. And so we'll be talking about that today. And then Linda Lockhart has written a book, Life Along the Applegate Trail. And so this is a family story, but a lot of people in the Northwest are familiar with the Applegate Trail. And so we'll be talking about her book on Friday. You can go to www.motivationallistener.live and see those broadcasts either live or the replay.
Well, you know what? Those are amazing. I've been blessed to be on there a couple times, and I just have one thing to say about that. We had to let Kermit take us out because we love Kermit. And so listen.
Hey, and I also want to say real quick, thank you to Gateway Imprints.
That's right.
I've been sipping my coffee out of the mug, and Black Friday is coming up. And this would make the perfect gift for friends, families, neighbors, coworkers, just random acts of goodness that you want to do. Hand out these mugs to people.
That's it. We have mugs and T-shirts for the experience live with Russ and Scott. More information to come on that. And with that, Scott, we're going to wrap it up. So great to see you all. Until we see you again, have a great day and a great life.
And enjoy the experience.